Let's go! We are breaking down a few practice footage clips that has been released to the public. I love the fact that Brian Kelly has made his team pretty open to the media. The media was able to watch full practices, or at least the very first one was a full practice viewing from the media. So we're going to break down some of the clips today that I found to be very interesting. Okay, now once again, they're going up against air, but just to break down these first couple of clips, obviously this is something we're going to see a lot of. Jayden Daniels to Malik Nabers. Okay, so then we get to here. Obviously, we're just running some drills here in the red zone, and this is what your first-team offense is going to look like. Other than Jackson McGohan right here, the true freshman, is in at tight end, but this is what the starting offensive lines look like the first couple of days at LSU spring practice. Obviously, Will, and then at left guard, it's been Garrett Dellinger, Charles Turner at center, right guard, Miles Frazier, and then right tackle Emory Jones. And this right here is actually Kevontre Bradford right there taking the fake handoff, and obviously Jayden throwing that football there to Kyron Lacey. And you see John Emery back at practice. How about that? Boom! Looking at you, making sure you're awake. LSU is still trying to figure out what their rotations are actually going to look like, in particular at wide receiver and at running back. Okay, so now you have Garrett Nussmeier into the game. And let's actually break down this lineup. Okay, this is Mac Markway, a young man who's made a lot of waves since he's been at LSU. And this second-team offensive line is very interesting. Okay, so this is Lance Hurd at right tackle, just right out of the gates right here. This is Bo Bordelon. This is Marlon Martinez at center. That's Mason Lunsford right there at left guard, and then at left tackle is Kimo Macanele, okay? All right, so we've played this clip a gazillion times of Mike Denbrock, Brian Kelly, and Jayden Daniels talking about making it easier to get explosives in the passing game without actually throwing it deep. This is a good example of that, right? So this is a fake screen to the right, and the play design itself is what's going to fool the defense, okay? So obviously the linebackers, who are John Cena right here, they will be fooled by these offensive linemen running to the right, but Garrett's actually throwing this out to the left in space. The key, though, is having receivers out here who can block. You know, it is interesting to see Lance Hurd immediately get those second-team reps at right tackle at practice number 2, and this is Garrett Nussmeier throwing a really nice ball from the opposite hash to Chris Hilton, who is a very good hands catcher. Now, obviously, actually, here's what I want to do on this one. I'm going to go ahead and run this play, and this is actually one of my favorite plays in all of football out of 5 wide. And I want you to see if you can recognize what the name of this play call actually is right here. This was one of LSU's most used staples last year, okay? So we'll bring it back, and just wherever you are right now, give it your absolute best guess what this play call is called. And if you guessed Hoss Juke, you are absolutely correct. Now, we're going to spend some time on this because I've seen LSU run this concept a lot. We saw it quite a bit in the Purdue game and just in a lot of games in general. The recent Jayden Daniels third down film study. Hoss Juke is very simple. We're running hitches to the outside and goes from how you're taught to run this play is to look all the way to the right, okay? And Garrett knows the whole time he's throwing this football to Aaron Anderson. So look, you're supposed to fake like you're stopping right here, and you actually have the option of going to the outside or to the inside, just depending on the coverage. LSU, pretty much every time I've watched them run this route, it's an automatic cut to the inside, okay? And that's what we do here. And then obviously Garrett throws a really good ball, and we are moving along here in this. So that's going to be a staple you're going to see LSU run a lot of next year. Once again, it is pretty common to see LSU do that very thing. Now, we get John Emery into the game. We take Armani Goodwin out. And we also bring Kamarion Pimpton into the game. We take Mac Markway out. And your receivers right here are Chris Hilton, Aaron Anderson, and Landon Ibieta. So at this point, we have not seen any true freshmen as a part of this drill or this this session of plays, we haven't seen any true freshmen at wide receivers just yet. So I want you to see, obviously, LSU is signaling in all their plays right here, going through all the signals, because these men right here are very important. They're the guys that actually signal in the plays, okay? So, obviously, we move along here, Garrett Nussmeier, and, of course, we were playing this at 0.5 speed, and then you get something like this if you're not used to working with the players that you are working with. It's honestly pretty common to see that, even if you're going up against air, if you're not used to playing with these players, okay? So, obviously, 88, Kamarion Pimpton, you can see, obviously, going back and forth trying to figure out where to line up. It's all new, right? And it takes a while to get used to it, right? This is only practice number 2, and obviously we get John Emery on a nice little counter right here to get him into the end zone. Alrighty, so let's chat some defense. So, I'm going to go ahead and run this play for you at full speed. This is obviously a pursuit drill. Practically every team at all levels of football runs some variation of this in warm-ups. It gives you kind of a team feel. But it's also important to note that this is obviously a practice, so only the media has so much time to film. And as you can see with this rep, this is not the first team defense. So this was the only angle I saw of any pursuit drill, defensive drills, and quite honestly, it is kind of boring. I would prefer to watch the offense as well. But let's just do some process of elimination. This looks like the second team, if you were to ask me. So by looking at this second team, we can kind of deduct who the first team actually was for this particular practice. Okay, so you'll see right here, starting off with the defensive line, this is Jacobian Guillory. This is Paris. This is Paris. Shan right here. The opposite defensive tackle of Guillory is Jordan Jefferson, and this is Braden Swinson. Okay, so your second team linebackers here. This is Wes Weeks, Greg Penn at the second level of the linebacker. Okay, and now let's take a look at the third level of the defense, which is the secondary. So LaTerrence Welsh has a new jersey number 5. Jordan Allen has a new jersey number 6, and then you have Sage Ryan here working as the second team safety. And this is honestly the most interesting player of this bunch is Javien Toviano. It would not shock me to see him get a lot of playing time this year at 2 different spots, at safety and potentially at nickel corner. So the opposite corner here is Denver Harris. So just by doing some deductive reasoning, I would venture off to say that the first team defense was probably Mason Smith, Mekhi Wingo, and Savion Jones as your front 3, with Jones playing the end, and then obviously Ovi Agufu as the opposite side jack. Your linebackers, Harold Perkins and Omar Spates, and then your secondary was probably Zy Alexander, opposite Deuce Chestnut, probably Andre Sam as the nickel corner with the first teamers, and then Greg Brooks and Major Burns. Okay, it was probably some combination of that. I might have missed a few, but I couldn't find video footage. First thing, just a little observation here. I love seeing players jump and get the football at its highest point. So look at the air time right here. He kind of actually mistimed his jump to catch this, but look at this athleticism from Javien Toviano. The second thing here, and this is honestly just a minor thing. So we saw Denver Harris in the spring game slip on that deep Landon Ibieta touchdown. You'll see right here that he didn't trip on anybody. He slipped a little bit again. So I don't really know the remedy to fix that. Maybe, I don't know, honestly, because obviously Denver Harris is a really, really good athlete, and he's just slipping right now. So I don't know. I don't know, but I'm still a believer in Denver Harris. I really, really, really am. Okay, now once again, this is your third team defense. We'll break this down really quickly. So Jeremiah Hughes, a true freshman. Ryan Yates, a true freshman. That's Matthew Langlois, who's battled through so many injuries. The right corner, I can't really see with the jersey number. I believe This is Ryan Robinson, a transfer. And then you have Whit Weeks. I could see him eventually earning himself some playing time. Christian Brathwaite is a true freshman in from Texas. You have Jackson Howard, Bryce Langston, and who are these other two defensive tackles? Jalen Lee and Quincy Wiggins right there. So you'll see right here once again, this is just your normal pursuit drill. Look at that. Wow, that was... Okay, is that J.K. Johnson with the third team here? Goodness gracious. This was a very physical rep right here on this kid. Wow, or the equipment guy. There you go. I think that's J.K. Johnson. I can't make out a 12 or not there. Alrighty, so this is via Fletcher Mackel, really good reporter out of New Orleans. And I want to show you these two plays right here. Okay, now this is actually from day one of practice. Okay, first thing, they put this huge video board in the indoor. That looks really, really, really nice. But I want you to see this. So just to show you, these are this is how the media has to view the indoor practice. They're all up here on this kind of skywalk. But I want to show you this, all right? This is practice number one, but take a look at the players who are in here, okay? Aaron Anderson, who we talked quite a bit about today. This is Kamarion Pimpton running the little split zone action. This is Lance Hurd, and this is Caleb Jackson. And what do all these players have in common? Well, this is their first real practice. Boom! Looking at you. So, if you're a member of the PHL Patreon, guess what? You already know how I feel about Caleb Jackson and Kamarion Pimpton. I was really high on them, even higher than the recruiting services. So that's a cool thing about Patreon. You also get an extra quarterback breakdown from the spring practice that is exclusive to you. A few things that I have seen with Jayden, Nuss, and Ricky in these first couple of practices. And once again, if you sign up for the Patreon, you get a Joe Burrow card from yours truly. Now, one final thing, I want you to give me your honest thoughts in the comment section on Aaron Anderson. He is generating so much freaking buzz. I'm very interested to see how you guys personally evaluate AA batteries, is what some of you guys call them. Brian is very familiar with him, a loyal live streamer. Once again, you guys know the live stream schedule. Let me know what you guys think. Now, floating in your face, we have a third down film study and a few other things that I think you guys will enjoy. Okay? It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! And tonight, me and the wife, date night in Ruston. Let's go. Sushi time. Let's go.